What we're going to do tonight, wings on a bowl can be pretty fancy or elaborate, or they can be fairly simple. I'm going to talk a little bit about both. I'm going to really emphasize cutting a piece of wood when it's air, wood, air, wood, air, wood. So you have some idea what can go wrong here, and what bevel should I use on my tools. All those kind of things we're going to throw in here as we go. This is apple. It's sopping wet. I was turning it earlier this morning, and the water is going many directions on it. The center of the apple tree was rotted, so that section's gone. The bark, the sapwood, was punky, so that part is gone. That's why it's only this thick. I realized I would have had a piece like that probably on here, but it'll work with what we're doing. To say some things here, the form you're after will be depending on your skill levels. If you are just starting out doing this, it probably is best to work it up to the top. The wing would be up here on the top, like some of those are there. The wing on the top, and that way you don't have to do a lot of work up here. Leave yourself enough that you could taper it a little bit, but you don't have to. When you get to the rim, if it's just a sloping rim into the bowl or into the bowl portion of it, it's easier to follow. And when you turn the bowl about this bottom part here, then you're going to form the bottom of the bowl. You already formed the inside, now you're going to form the outside and not go through the bottom. So it's a little bit easier there, and you won't catch the tool. We're gonna make this one a little bit more difficult and go up underneath it, and then have to go off in that direction. So there's a tight curve in there. If the bottom of the bowl is here, and you're coming up here, then it's going like that. You have to get a curve in there that's maybe a 1/4 inch. That's hard. That's the hard part of it. If the curve is more like that, well, there, yeah, and I can go like that, and then come out and roll it, and then my other side would go much easier going in. So all those things are going to go into this. And when you look at one like this, usually you are going to turn from the center to the outside. And we're going to do that in the beginning, but when we get near a wing, and we're not going to put, this is going to be a very deep bowl. When we get to the wing, then we're going to change it. We don't want to go, if I'm going to get a couch here. I don't want to take a pull cut like this on my finished cuts, because it's going to go in here, and it's going to take off wood here, and they're going to come in and take off more wood here, and that's where you're going to get a lot of the ripples. What you need to do is start out here, and this is the most supported you're going to get all the way to that point right about there, and then it's going to go in the air. You have to be able to hold it in that position to keep that steady, clean cut across here. And we're going to talk about different bevels and things like that, how to maybe get that done. But the first part of it, we're just going to take this and round it over enough to get up here somewhere. And this could be big or it could be smaller. We're going to make it fairly small because we want the wing to be a little bit exposed on the side of the planks here. This is was actually burned next to a bonfire. They're trying to burn the trunk out or what, I don't know. But it's nice color to it on that one. So, okay. Now, we got a 40-40, and this one's probably about a 60. These are both Ellsworth, I think. Yeah. Pretty sure they are. And we're going to see what we can do with these. To put it in a short way to say it, it's not so much the bevel is the person on the other end of the handle. And what you cannot do is stick your bevel on there and start cutting. I gotta get out here a little farther. Start cutting, and if you push that bevel on that wood, you're gonna end up in the space, and then you're gonna go take a gouge out the next round. So you really have to do that. How can I do that? Well, here's one way. Hold on to here. Put your finger in there. If you're an overhander, you better get the palm of your hand in there, where you can make this tool work that way and not have it sliding in there. You have to find your edge. Now, Bob, can you reach up there and give me some masking tape? Or any kind of tape, duct tape, masking tape. Yeah. There we go. Not bad for an alignment, huh? Okay. Do this. Do not turn this without doing this. You're going to take this and find the farthest point of this wood. Right there. And I can put that piece of tape right there. Now, I know not to put my finger anywhere in here and that piece of wood. I don't want to get bit by that thing. So I know I can start it there, but it also will help me get it started. But I can come back and I know where the tip is, and I'm gonna put my bevel against the wood, hear it go around, and then I'm gonna just get a very light ticky sound, and maybe a little bit farther back, and then I can pick up that corner of the wood. These are my glasses in my magnetic case. Everybody saw that. You just stick it where you want. Handy little thing. How fast you go, that's another, whatever's comfortable for you. I'm going to straighten this tenon out just a little bit. It's just not in the same hole as it was.
Can you see the video, or do we need to drop it on the line?
Like that.
Zoom in a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. So now we can start shaping this, but we're going to run into where we have to
That's good.
get that out of there.
Good.
And you can hear where I am right now. Trying to move out of the edge of that wood. I have to get rid of some of this. I'm going to take this down a little bit. I'm trying to judge where I want that wing. So there. Now I can take that and I'll move my tool rest in. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I can hear me real good. Alright, air tight. Rubbing, bevel rubbing. Back it up, back it up, back it up. All the way out there. Now I know where the corner is. You can hear how slow it's tick, 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 tick. Notice that speed. Now I have my hand over the top, but I have it stuck in that edge up here pretty well secure. Come back, find it. Now I'm going to look a little bit for getting a cleaner cut. And these were sharpened before I came, but let's get a little wet over there. If I want to cut it cleaner, I've got a couple of options here. I could try dropping the handle down and using it down at just the edge, right in that area there. Or I can roll it over be very careful of the suicide. The left side of the tool. I'm going to find the edge again. Now I'm cutting on the right wing right now. That's right at the point. And I have very little. Okay, I know Tom can zoom in here.
There we go.
Zoom in. Zoom in.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you can see that's a 40-40 cut there. This is my pull cut, and I didn't care. That shows what speed can do to you sometimes, or low speed on that one. Okay, I'll take a little more wood out of here, and then we'll start seeing what the 60 bevel can do here too. Okay. Okay, let's try that again. Not so fast. How about this one? And that's pretty smooth either way. Okay. I got enough wood for a couple more. This is a 60. I'm going to turn my hand the other way for that. I'm going to find the corner. Just listen for the ticks. When you hear one of them, you know you're pretty much where you belong. I have it rolled over to 130. You see that bounce? That's too thick. I pull the handle back. Let's try it roll over to 3 o'clock. What do you think? Give you a hint. You chewed that up pretty well.
Is it a problem that it's off center?
It's off center?
One side's longer than the other?
No, not really. I mean, it's just more air. It's still the center. I think we'll clear that up. Nice cut. Okay, we're back to where we were there. And we might still bring this in some more. That's too big on that, so we're going to have to cut that back down. Here I'm going toward the headstock. And again, because I fractured the penny, I don't want to take it too hard. Dropping the handle here. I'm rolled over about 10:30. If you notice that the lack of ticking going on there. Ooh, that's pretty. What was going on here is by dropping it some and holding that very still, I was able to control how much of that bevel was rubbing on the tool. The least, I can't take the bevel off of it. I gotta have some bevel, but I can do it that, yeah. Shut it off, Bob. Okay, we're still pretty close on the wide ones. That way a little more. Gonna lose the bark. Piece of wood too. I just lost some of the wood here. Does that really bother me? Not too much. I mean, I could sand that off and make it different shape, whatever. Just make the bowl a little smaller. Don't quit yet. Handle's down on my waist. Back, put some of that up. Dropping the handle a little bit. Keeping my hand away from that. And again, that's just a little bit there. Take one more on that. I'm about ready to resharpen this thing. Raising the handle just a little bit. Rotate it up to 1 o'clock. Trying to control that bumping. Just make sure you don't hurry. And that cleaned that up pretty well. I'm still a little big, so I'm going to have to start shaping my bowl some more here. It just told me where the edge is. And that. Now, as I move toward a smaller diameter, I'm actually going to turn the speed up some more on that because it will help me. But again, don't go faster than you're comfortable with. Here we can do the push cut, raising the handle up. And turning that up to about 10:45. If I went out of the cut, it's because I had too much bevel. And I lost the edge. My thumb is pushing down on this tool. And again, apple is a very nice wood to turn. And it's getting pretty close right there, aren't we? Well, let's take out the other part there. Now, I have so much of it there, I can actually shear cut this out of here. change that part, how much of a curve do you want. As I said right about there, I'm going to pull that out. Got a little bump there, yeah. That one's in, this one is not quite there. So I'll come back and recut it. Tell me if I do it faster. What I did there was move from my right leg over to my left leg to make that curve. You have to use your body to make curves. You cannot use your hands to make those curves work for you. Make sure you're using your hands in there. All right, we're a little bit fat on the bottom. We'll try to keep our pen in, of course. We'll work on that when we flip it over to get the rest of that. I want to get this out of here. Now you could go straight in. Like, you can make this bowl meet this in a very tight angle and just, that's fine. Or you can kind of open it up a little bit. I'm going to get another gouge, and this is one of my favorite gouges. This is a spindle gouge. I do all my boxes with it. It's a very steep 75 to 80 degree bevel on that thing, and it's swept back wings. So what I'm going to do with it is come in with the rolled over about 9:15 and catch into that wood, and then I'm just going to pull that out of there on that wing there. So here's our roll over. And here, and I'm going to give a little bit of a taper. Raised it up there at about 10:30. Now I have a really nice clean, there's a little bit of a line there I have to get rid of on that side, but it's cleaning up well. Try not to have too much sanding, especially in those corners like that. Here I'm at 11 o'clock, barely touching the wood into the wood. I just pulled it out. There we have, you can see this one now is not a sharp angle in there. It's a flowing angle to it. And this is not a real problem. By the way, you can shear cut some of this too. Just take the this is my spindle gouge again. Spindle gouges are much more forgiving. And I have a long edge on here, so it's not going to fall in there quite as easily. And I'm just pulling back straight toward me, keeping that straight line. Got a little bit there. Try that again. That's pretty clean, except here, that's not hard to sand that out of there. There's a little branch trying to grow out of it, something like that. Okay. Any questions on that part? If I can hear you.
Looks good.
Good. That's good. I have,
How thick was the wood?
How thick? Inch and a half? 2 inches?
The whole thing?
Yeah, just
2 1/4,
oh,
probably there. We don't have a whole lot of wood left in the top, but we're gonna see if we put a little rim up there on top of that thing, if it runs straight. It's running pretty well there. That's good. I didn't say good, did I?
Yeah.
It's running well.
Well,
On that. All right, now this side here we could roll this down. I only want about 3/8 of an inch here on these wings, so I could roll it down, or I could just cut it straight. My bowl. How big a bowl do you want? So it's, you know, you got a lot of wood on this side. So what I'm going to do is look at that side and figure out about where I'm safe. And I'll measure it as I go down, of course, but somewhere in that area my bowl could be about that size. And then it's a matter of how thin you want the bowl on there. So, but before I take the inside out of this, do I want to do any more here? Because I'm not going to be able to come back if my walls of my bowl are pretty thin. This is going to vibrate easily on me. So it's a matter of how thin I want to go there. Yeah. Oh, that's yours.
I was getting stuck flying this way.
These are among the best on the market, Bionics. They've saved my face a couple of times, ugly as it is. They work well. Okay, well, let's take a vote here. Do you want it straight, or do you want to curve it toward the other one?
curve.
A little curve? The only bad part is this side is still straight. It won't have that nice, if you look at those, I call them bridge bowls, the curve there. We can put a little bit of a curve in here, but it's, without taking it on the other side. We should have cut this one to match it. So I think we'll stay straight. It won't look good the other way. So we're going to thin it down. Here we go again. I'm going to check. Make sure that I have this where it belongs. And I want that over as close as I can. Ooh, that one's bigger. And Kurt, you could balance these out. However you want. You could pair the 2x4 if you want.
Yeah, right.
You know, do it that way and learn on the 2x4 before you put something too good in there.
Too expensive.
You won't lose. Oh, they're too expensive now too. That's true. Okay. Now that's got a better tenon in it, so I'm not too worried now. My tool rest is a little too high. Look at that. I can't go down in there. That hole is probably 7/16 of an inch deep, and that's from the screw chuck. You can do that with other ways. Cane centers works well. And here again, I'm dealing with a fairly slow speed. I want to find the wall before I go too far taking the center out of here. That's pretty good now. A little more. You see that? You think that's too bright?
No.
They're not pushing that way. And let's talk about this right here. Sometimes people think they can cut to the outside from the inside to the outside, and then they get right in there, boom, they catch that wall, especially with a 60/60 or 60 grit, or excuse me, 60 bevel. like this one here, that one will catch on there and just rip the whole thing off the, you're lucky if it stays in there. You don't want that side. But as long as you stop early and keep your tool where it belongs, if you do go there, turn it over. There's 9 o'clock. That'll take it out of there. There's 9 o'clock again. We cleaned it out pretty well. Alright, I want to know what I got here again. Go down a little less than a half inch maybe. I'm going back to my 40 just to cut in there well. Roll it up. Roll it down. Give me the other one. The figure 8 one. That can get kind of bulky in there. Okay. We're there at about 3/8 of an inch right now. That's a good start. Down there, we've got some room over here.
The reason you don't have much of a curve on that one is because the board was so thin.
To do that like that,
Yeah.
that you would, when you did the other side, then you make it like a bowl.
Right.
Yeah, it's like a bowl, and then you got to match it on the other side with a convex curve. Yeah, and then you got to turn the inside. Then you're gonna, either vacuum or put it between the tail stack in there again, and on the tenon, and then you could shape the bottom of the bowl and make sure it doesn't hit the table. It's always got to be above the table.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me how I know that.
So it doesn't rock.
Yeah. We're going to put a little bit of a bead right in here, I think. And I'm going to need and that'll give us how thick we want this part here. To turn a bead on the edge of on the rim of a bowl, I'm going to drop the handle down. I'm going to find that left wing, and when it starts to get up near the tip, I'm going to bring it toward me, and then I'm going to roll and bring it back in. And there's the start of a bead. You can take a little more off that side. Again, the apple wood is nice to work with. Drop the handle, shear cut, and you're going to go right around again, like that. And then we're going to just put a little one in there, like that. So now you have 2 beads, and we have them different sizes. It's a little pointed. Let me get that one. A little too much point on there. Okay. Now we can take this wood down, and we're right on the edge here. Ooh, that's close, yeah. I'm going to do a little pull cutting with my finger gouge. Just to get some of that out of there. And roll it over, pull it out. And here's the last one on there. Like that. Check my tape job back here. A little more. And I think we need some dry lube on this thing. That cast iron. Okay, you can see the thickness I have here. That's probably where I'd like to be with this. And I'm going to thin this down now because you can already hear it vibrating some. And I'm going to go back to my 40. I'm going to look at it. Start rubbing the bevel, draw back, draw back. Pull your base mass down. Yep, that'll help. Drop the handle some. What that just told me was it is able to vibrate, and you can see right here, just on the outside of it, it's that. The other thing it told me is this tool's getting dull. So I don't think I have it in. Back running?
Yeah. I left it running, sorry.
It's all right. There we go.
Edit.
Okay, again. Follow it back. Find it. Did you notice more bumping? Believe it or not, it already wants to move. Try going up a little bit. What I did, and again, it's guesswork. Didn't like it like this too much, and I was getting too much bevel rubbing, so I brought it up and rolled it up a little bit. That way, I'm only dealing with, you can see the dust right there on that tool is right, it rubbed totally off right there. So I was able to
Do you ever have to tighten the, retighten the chuck? In a situation
retighten
like
this
that?
chuck.
Or is that usually not the case?
Nothing wrong, yeah, it's good safety. It could be loose.
Especially with warm, I mean, with wet
I
weather.
don't, I'm just wondering if it's...
It's okay. We're getting there. One more, one or two more here. Put that down. Raising the handle this time. One or two more here, we'll be done with that. We're down about 7/16 of an inch on that cut. We could shear cut this out probably. Let's take one more. We're gonna live dangerously a little bit. Find it. Raise the handle. I'm going to raise this tool brush just a hair. I think I'm below center. That should be it. Good way to tighten it up. shouldn't do that one. That's all good. We got a little bit here we can take out. Almost kind of breathing here. Pull, pull, pull. And let the sand do the rest of it on there. Okay, so that needs some work. When it looks good spinning, sometimes it's not. I don't think you can see what I just did. I took this bead and rolled it back in, so it's the curve's going back toward the center. That way it hides it a little bit. Now I can just pull that out a little bit. Get rid of it. And I think we're about ready to take the inside out of here. You could, let it dry, sand it. That'll help that one. Okay, I'm going to switch over to a. That's that one. I brought a half-inch hole down. Okay. This is also a PM, which is a Crown product. PM means it's powder metal. It's not hard to figure that out, huh? PM. So it's and this one is a little lighter cut, and it makes a pretty good finish cutter. Oh, let's double check a little bit on our wall here. Okay. All right. Go back here for my finisher cut. I'm going to go in a little bit. And bring that handle around quick. What I did was undercut this just a little. Now I can just take the rest out because that's probably thin enough up there. I'm going to save that. Go back to this one. Remember, this hand's doing all the work. This hand's just holding on and pushing down some. Here you can hear the scrape. It's just a straight cut just to get that wood out of there. It was about 9:30. Now we come back and cut. There's a peak. Gotta slow down here. That's where you'll push it off. Take it right out of there. Especially with a thin tendon on it. Bring it around. All that cutting was right at the center. Some people do a rainbow cut where you're going up and down on it. That works well also. A little bit thick maybe. About 3/8, 7/16 at the most. On there. Depth-wise, This is a great measuring tool. We've got about a ½ inch in the bottom there. You can buy them. Get kind of used to it.
I can run out, it's like an arm on the back. It folds up. Just like that. Pretty good money.
We will probably use the tenon on the bottom here for the foot. It doesn't have to have a foot, does it? Look at some of those. I call them wobble bowls because there's no foot in there. There's wobble.
No foot.
Some people like those things. Yep. Go down. Leave a nub in the middle. Don't try to take that out of there. You'll chip the wood off. Now I'm deciding how much I'm going to take off the outside to get that shape back to it. And there, I'm going to leave it about there on that. Like that. Again. One of the best things of being left-eyed. I can line it up easy with this one. You know, the best hitters in baseball, many of them are left-eyed right-handed or right-eyed left-handed. And the reason is you're facing the pitcher, you can see out of that lead eye much more of the ball coming than you can if you turn your head. Oh, yeah. I got a master's degree. I know all that stuff. What, did you take a course in coaching a baseball? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're a little thinner there. Well, you can sand some of this a little thinner to match up here a little bit better.
Take another look at it.
Yeah, but we're going to take this out now. But we got it here, so let's do that with that. And this is wet. We're going to take that down. We might be able to lose the tenon here some. At least make it smaller. Pass that around, and we can just get this thing set up. Shut that off. We want to have a foot. Wobble. 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 Foot.
Wobble.
Let's go wobble. Okay. Well, I better let me preface that by making sure I know how much is in the bottom here. Okay, we're at 7/8 of an inch.
Okay.
We got a 1/4 inch.
So we're good.
So we have 5/8 of an inch to play with on the bottom. And that'll help us really round this off a little bit more. Take my foot off. We got 5/8. This is a 3/8 inch spindle gouge. I love it on the bottom of bowls. And I also do a lot of other things with it. Very versatile tool. Great shear cutter. And cuts. This little 3/8 inch gouge. And I'm trying to make sure I can get it around the corner here. Good. And we're going to go from a pull cut to a push cut. So as I come around the corner, pop down there on me. I'm cutting with the point, and I'm letting the waste wood cut on the low side of that. We got not a very good wobble here yet. We're getting there. I'm going to change that now to push it. I'm a little bit below center, I know I am. Make it work. Got a little hump right here. This isn't a great tool angle. I'm going to go back up to the push. Now we're going to check it again. You'll notice how these frugal take a little time to let go. This is a great buy. The frugal vacuum chucks are made by a guy who used to be in the Chicago Wood Turners,
He still is.
Bob Leonard. Yeah, we got 3/8 of an inch there. Yeah, we're a little more than 3/8 of an inch. So we got some wood to take out of here. I'd like to get that down to about 1/4 inch. You bear with me? Haven't fallen asleep, I hope.
In the home stretch.
Yeah. And when this is done, I don't really want it, but we can put it in a raffle, and we can put that other blank in the raffle. We got a raffle. We have a raffle. We're going to get a happy. Hold on. I can make that cut a little bit better. Right there is where I've got to be very careful I don't catch that left wing. And, got a whole bunch of tear out there. So here comes my little one. I can shear cut back and blend that in, I hope. Yeah, it's got a little bump to it yet. For some reason, I keep needing more light. Along with many other problems.
You don't have the vacuum on.
What?
There you can see where it's a little off center. We'll have to sand that part out. I'm still not happy here yet.
You need the vacuum on, or you're about?
I'm trying to make that form a little better. going up to the top there. That's working. And if I slow down.
Pop,
You want the vacuum in?
vacuum.
Vacuum?
Thank you. Oh, I love the guys who can keep me out of big trouble. I was already out of licking that thing off too.
I think we had it pretty secure in there.
Yeah, just blend that in a little bit better. That's good. Now we can take the tailstock out of the way. But it's better to shut it off. And I'll move it and see if it works. What I do with these, because it's apple, I would suggest putting it in a paper bag and takes home some of these shavings with you. And all you have to do is you gotta have a vacuum chuck to sand it rather than sanding it by hand. And just a light touch here. Again, this is a great shear cutting tool because it's so small. Yet to me, it's a baby bowl gouge, and I've actually turned some that way. I can't quite. Ah! I don't know if I can get at it. What I'm trying to do is a little bit of ripples there. Let's try going here the other way. Sure, cut the other way. There's a will, there's a way. Now, I cannot put it back this time.
Nice.
And it should wobble.